Hey guys, my name is Ryan.
And my name is Miska.
And welcome to Overwatch Central. So we're back at it again with the Sombra talk. This is pretty much one final thing that we wanted to go over before we get any more information via the ARG or directly from Blizzard. But now there is one point that we would like to talk about that seems to be overlooked by a lot of people. Many have approached the Sombra speculation in this way. We know that she's a hacker of sorts and that she has an agenda with Lumerico and some connections with Reaper and Talon. And from there we start speculating about abilities from that angle. But there is also a fair bit more information that hasn't been taken into account. We know what type of development philosophy Overwatch has created, and we have experience with the addition of new heroes with something like Ana. So what did Ana do that Sombra will do as well? Well, she will fill a character and role gap. This is extremely important to Overwatch and is consistent throughout the game, and also the characters that have been implemented so far. Sure, some of them share ability types like stuns, but most of the time they have a unique twist to a bunch of common ability types, and all of ultimates that are not really anything close to each other. So let's dive deeper into this, shall we?
There are a lot of different ability types in Overwatch. These are effects that certain abilities provide. Let's list a few of them. In Overwatch we have Stun, Heal, Heal Prevention, Damage, Damage over time, Damage and Speed Boost, Targeted Damage Reduction, Self-Heal, Armor Increase, Projectile Absorption, Flying, AoE Damage, Blink Dash, Reflecting Deflecting Damage, Cleave, AoE Wall Hack, Scattershot, Projectile Drop, AoE Damage, Knockback, Remote Controlled Objects, Root, AoE Buff, Burst Projectile, Slow, Invulnerability with no movement, Creation of Physical Objects, Resurrect, Fly to Target, Jump Pack, Hover, Projectile Speed with no drop-off, Invulnerability Movement, Range Teleport, Barrier Shield, Charge and Pin, Melee Attack, Damage over unlimited distance only stopped by physical objects, Long Range Stun and Pull, Running, Short Range Target Lock Damage, Turret with Auto Aim, Resource Collection, Providing Armor, Blink with Charges, Individual Time Rewind with Heal, Vertical and Horizontal Movement Ability with Momentum Gain, Jump, Leap, Bubble Barrier, Health Gain, Multi-Target Damage, Projected and Self-Barrier, Weapon Charge System based off damage taken, Gravitational Pull to center point, Target increased damage taken, Line of Sight requirements, and many more weapon-specific abilities and properties. On top of this, we also have different type of ability downtime properties, such as the classic cooldown, a charge-based system, and cooldown reset systems.
So to create a new character we need to create a type of ability from all of these components. Or alternatively, come up with a completely new ability that doesn't use any of these components. Let's have a look at some other games and find some ability types that Blizzard haven't really used in Overwatch yet. An obvious one is a Silence or Disable, as currently we have a Root, Slow and Stun for disables. A Silence in Overwatch would most likely be referred to as an EMP type of ability, as our characters haven't really been using magic or anything apart from the dragons from the Shimada brothers. What Overwatch tend to refer back to is the abilities in-game being based off technology that is not too unrealistic, apart from, again, those two dragons. Anyway, we should also be looking at what in Dota at least is referred to as an auto-cast ability. This is an ability that enhances a normal auto-attack. And in Overwatch that would most likely enhance a character's normal projectile or shot from their main weapon. We also have the cloak ability speculation discussing invisibility potential and how the voice line State of Mind a while back from the PTR referred to this as a hero hiding or being invisible. If you want more information on that, then do check the Reddit link in the description and smash the like button as you're passing by. Anyway, looking past the invisibility stuff, the biggest talking point really is the disables. So let's move on to exactly what that is.
Now, there's a lot they can do with disables. There's a lot of different types of disables, which we've gone through already, but how does this fit into Sombra? Well, let's start off with the hacking sort of type of character. One of the only things we haven't actually seen so far is some sort of disable that prevents you from using abilities. It's very, very common in MOBA games, and it's even present in some other FPS games that are kind of like Overwatch and have extra abilities and so on, so it wouldn't surprise me to see this in the game. Now, whether this is a disable that just completely screws over the enemy by forcing them to run away from you, add some sort of static electricity to them so they get shocked and don't have any control over their aim, or whatever it is, I think we're gonna see it in the game. Now, I wouldn't like to see anything that prevents you from moving differently, and it would feel kinda bad to play an FPS and have someone mess up your aim simply because they used an ability on you rather than aiming better than you. But hey, it might happen. Now, another type of disable that we might also see is just something that kind of removes the UI for a bit. Maybe it's a sort of EMP grenade type of thing that just removes the UI for a bunch of enemies in an area, or maybe it's a targeted one that removes the UI and prevents you from using abilities for a short amount of time. Either way, I think we're gonna see something that's kind of like this. Moving on to the sort of cloak cloak and invisibility stuff, because I'm sure some of you guys want us to talk about that. I personally think that this will be some sort of static invisibility, meaning that you have to sit still or stand still, not move anywhere, and then you become invisible. So maybe you can run behind enemy line, stand still for a bit, and then you're invisible for a while, and then you have to move around and try to do whatever you want to do. This provides some stealth, yet isn't completely OP. It also kind of makes sense with all the character lines that we mentioned before, link in the description for that again, and it's something that people have been a little bit wary about, as we don't really want a TF2 spy situation, but I do think it's very much possible to see either as an ultimate or normal ability. So there we have sort of 3 out of 4 abilities that Sombra could have. An Emp Grenade that removes UI for a bit, for a bunch of enemies in an area, a targeted ability on a cooldown that prevents the hero from using any abilities, and the invisibility/cloak ability. Now, of course, this is just all speculation, but these 3 abilities are fairly unique, they fit into the character concept, and they also fit a sort of disabled role that we don't really have in Overwatch. That's just my 2 cents though. I would place a hero like this in the defense role, but there's one big thing left, and that is the main weapon. As for this, I'd love for you guys to chip in, put your ideas in the comments below, and even not just for the main weapon, but also for abilities and general character concept, but I wanted to bring this up for this discussion, as I think it's often overlooked how Overwatch actually has some very basic design principles that need to be followed. You can't really just say that, oh, Sombra will have like a little extra robot or a turret, because that's kind of like Torbjorn or Junkrat's remote controlled Riptire. It's not really that unique, and it seems big enough to be an ultimate kind of, right? And it's also kind of pointless to say, oh, I think Sombra will have a ranged stun that messes up any enemy's armor or whatever and stuns them for 4 seconds. Because a stun is already in the game, and it's not really as interesting to talk about and doesn't bring anything new to the table. And I'm sure we all know at this point that if it's something that a new hero really needs, is to be unique and bring something new to the table and fill a gap in the Overwatch hero roster.
And that's it for this time. Thank you very much for watching. Do let us know what abilities you think Sombra will have. And like this video if you want more speculation videos like it. Thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you next time.